Once we're satisfied with the height of our mug, we need to start to look at how level it is. You can see that I have a dip, an unlevel part in the top of my mug. Before I can put my rim on, which is the next step, I have to make sure that the mug is level. To level your mug, you will roll out a coil and then pinch it into little sizes that fill in the gap in the top of your mug. This may take several coils, and you'll have to kind of jigsaw them together to get the shapes you need. Then take them off and scratch them, dab them with water, and press them back into place. Then stitch them and smooth them into the rest of your mug. Now you have a well-built mug at a good height, and we're ready to add the rim, the handle, and the foot. And we will look at those features tomorrow. Now to go to the next step, you have to have a mug that is between fist and thumbs up height, completely flat on the top, and 100% smooth on the inside. So smooth. Once you have that, you'll be ready for a rim. A rim is the crown of your mug. It's a king coil that sits on the top. It's slightly bigger than the other coils, and it will create a good surface to drink out of. You make your rim by taking a chunk of clay and rolling out a coil. The chunk of clay you use to roll out your rim coil will be a little bit bigger than the other coils that you've rolled. So use especially long, light rolls to avoid getting the plank. Your rim coil has to be perfectly round and even for it to look good on top of your mug. Roll this coil out until it's somewhere in between thumb thickness and pointer finger thickness. You don't want this coil to be as skinny as the other coils on your mug. Thumb thick, index finger thick, somewhere in between. It has to be thicker than the other coils on your mug, at least a little bit. It should also be perfectly round and even. Once you have a beautiful coil, take it and wrap it around the top of your mug. Make sure that it's long enough to go all the way around with just a little bit of overlap. Once you know that you have the right coil, take it off, scratch up the top of your mug, scratch your coil, dab with water, and press it on, letting the coil hang off the sides ever so slightly. Pinch off the extra, leaving about a pinky's width of overlap between the two coils, and then press it on. That's a nice looking coil. Then stitch the inside, stitch your rim into the walls of your mug, then smooth it. You don't need to stitch and smooth the outside, just the inside. Now look at that. Beautiful, even rim on top of our mug. Perfect with no funky spots. No, but in the real world, it doesn't always end up looking like that. Sometimes, that happens. You put your rim on and you end up with a funky spot. If you end up with a weak spot or a thin spot at the top of your mug, you're going to want to add a little coil in there to fix it and make it look perfect and even like the rest of your mug. So roll out a little coil that fits into the funky spot of your rim and scratch it, dab it, press it in, and stitch and smooth it so that your rim is perfect. Now that's looking good. And now we're ready for a handle. A well-made handle will look good and feel good and be one of the final steps for our mug. To make a handle, you're going to start by rolling out a carrot-shaped coil. That means one end of the coil is going to be thicker than the other. To get that look, make sure your hand is tilted slightly to the side as you roll. We're going to keep rolling until the top end of the carrot is as thick as the thumb and the bottom end is as thick as a pinky. Top as thick as thumb, bottom as thin as pinky, and you're good to go. That coil may take a few tries to get it right. This coil can be a little bit tricky and it may take a few tries to get one that looks good. Also, make sure you put some water on this coil so it doesn't dry out. Next, we're going to trim off that little funky bit at the top of the coil with a fettling knife so that we have a nice flat surface. Now we're ready to put this handle onto our mug. To do this, start by moving your mug to the very edge of the table so we have room for the handle to hang off the edge as you form it onto your piece. The top of the handle goes on just below the rim, and the bottom of the handle goes on in a question mark shape towards the bottom of the mug. You can adjust the sizes. You could have a large, medium, or small sized question mark handle, depending on the size and look of the rest of your mug. Once you're happy with your size, you can pinch off that extra bit at the bottom of the question mark, and there you have your handle shape. Take that handle back off and set it to the side, and then we'll be ready to scratch our cup and our handle and attach it. When you scratch the attachment points, make sure you scratch just below the rim and towards the bottom of your mug. Scratch the top of your handle and the bottom of your handle. Dab with water and press the handle on firmly without messing up the shape of your handle or your mug. To do this, it's important to brace the inside of your mug with one hand and slide your fingers down the sides of the top part of your handle to press it into the wall of your mug. On the bottom, just gently press the bottom of that question mark into the side of the mug. Use a brush to smooth out the attachment points of your handle and get rid of any stray scratch marks. Once your handle's well attached, you can take some time to create a custom fit. You can lift up the shape, make it a little bit bigger, and fit it to your fingers. If the attachment points of your handle look neat and strong, then you may be good to go. But if they look a little bit skinny and weak like this, you can add some baby snakes around the attachment points to beef them up. Baby snakes are just very tiny coils, like little worms. You can take that and wrap it around the attachment point at the top of your handle, and then stitch it and smooth it in to beef up the attachment point so that it's not weak. It will also make it look better. You can put baby snakes around the bottom part of your handle too, and smooth them in. Your goal is to make a beautiful rim and a well-attached and well-shaped handle. All we have to do next week is learn about the foot, sign the bottom, and we'll be ready to put these babies in the kiln. Have at it.